Hey everyone, welcome to more tutorials with Pamka. Today I will show you how to use Scotch tape. Well, let's say that you have a piece of paper, but accidentally you've torn it into two pieces. So how do you fix this? Well, in case you didn't know, there was this thing invented called Scotch tape that's like used for this. If you don't know about it, you probably need to read more on your Scotch tape lore. Well, anyway, to use Scotch tape, you first need to get one of your fingernails and also hold the Scotch tape in your other hand. You do this using your fingers. Then you use the fingernail on your other hand that you don't use to hold the Scotch tape to find the ending of it, which is done by rubbing the edge of the fingernail on it, and after a while you should be able to find it. And I think it's here. You push on it a tiny bit on the ending. You could probably use your other hand and also use the other technique, which is done by using the finger like this, not like this. And you just... Then you realize this is not the ending and you have to continue finding it, which is the hardest part of using a Scotch tape. Maybe you have a Scotch tape like cutter or a measurer, in case you are like a bit more invested into the world of Scotch tape, which good for you. I don't have one, but I wish I had, because this is incredibly annoying. Well, after you find it and you manage to get it up like this, you take it with two fingers and you pull. This gets you a nice even strip of Scotch tape. You can then place it somewhere where you don't need it, and you will need scissors for this. The scissors are a sharp piece of metal that's used for cutting stuff, or rather slicing stuff. You usually operate them using your thumb and one of these fingers, either your index finger or your middle finger, or both of these. You insert your thumb into the small hole and your other two fingers in the large hole, and then by opening up and closing you can use it to cut basically anything that's not too strong. And then you take the Scotch tape in your other hand and you place the Scotch tape, the strip that's hanging from the roll, between the two blades of the scissors, and you close your hand. By this you will then have this nice strip of Scotch tape, which then you can take your two pieces of paper, place them like you want them to be held together, and then you hold the strip of Scotch tape and you press it onto the paper, and you press a bit more on it, and congrats, you have successfully used Scotch tape on a piece of paper. Welcome to another tutorial with Pamka. In the previous episode I showed you how to use Scotch tape to fix together two pieces of paper, and now that your torn paper is back together, well, what can you use it for? Well, in this tutorial I would like to show you how to use a ballpoint pen. A ballpoint pen is a device that is used to transform ink from an ink cartridge inside the ballpoint pen onto various surfaces, such as paper. So how do you use it to write something? Well, first of all, you need to grab it. You usually hold it with your fingers like this, your thumb on one side and then your index finger and middle finger on the other side, or like on the top and bottom. And then it's also leaning on the side opposite to the side that's held by your thumb onto like your knuckle. So what do you use next to write it with? Well, first of all, you need to turn it on. Well, I don't really know what else to call it, but yeah. So how do you do that? Well, you need to use a finger, like another one, to like you take your finger. You can again use any, but I prefer to use my thumb. You hold it you on the metal tip that's on the opposite end, like you have this metallic cone-shaped end, and then you have this one, and you lightly press it, and you can see that out of the cone-shaped end a small metal tip. Yeah, it just appeared there. So next up, you need to take your paper, you need to take your pen, and you need to make about a 45 to a 60 degree angle against the paper, and then you use your hand motion to move the pencil around on the paper while you are pressing down on it to write anything you want. So for example, we can make FNM04.